What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're here with the final injury report of the week, man. Final injury report for the Lions and the Falcons on Sunday. It's Friday, so let's get it started.
The city's been down, and it found a way to get up. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, all right? And we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. We're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
Welcome, everybody, to a video. Glad you guys are here. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. I messed that up. That was bad. Did people say that? I don't know if I've heard someone say Merry Christmas Eve, but that's what we're doing today because we probably won't have a video tomorrow. There's a chance we do. You know, I don't want to count things out, but there probably won't be a Lions video tomorrow because it is Christmas. So if I don't see y'all tomorrow, Merry Christmas, everybody.
And say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
What? We'll be back, of course, on Sunday when the Lions take on the Falcons. We'll be doing our live stream for that. We'll have the preview in the morning. The preview is going to be pretty important, okay, because we really haven't done that this week with the Falcons. There's still a lot I got to learn about them. So tune in early for the Falcons game. We go at about 11:30, around that time, 11 o'clock, 11 to 11:30. Usually we start the live at latest 11:45. Before the game, we'll talk about it, do some predictions, maybe even throw up some film. So that is Sunday and then the game. But today, we got the final injury report. And I want to keep this video short and sweet, fly through it, because it is Christmas Eve. And if you are tuning in on Christmas Eve, again, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully y'all have a great holiday, and let's dive right into this. Okay, we're going to start with our Lions as we have all week. We're going to fly through this. Starting off at the top, we got Mr. Julian Okwara with his ankle injury. He is limited, and he is listed as questionable. It'll be the first game back for him in weeks, back-to-back days of limited participation. To me, that sounds promising. I mean, Friday is a pretty big day, is the way that Dan Campbell put it today, specifically for a guy like DeAndre Swift. He said today was going to tell a lot for Swift, especially on the contact side. And I think maybe we saw a little bit of this last week with Jalen Reeves-Maybin. You kind of have that build up all week, and then Friday's a big day. Now, he's only practiced twice, but I think this was a big day for him. And limited participation, well, we'll kind of just have to wait and see. But you know what? In the spirit of Christmas, I'm going to say I think he'll play on Sunday. I think he will, and I think we're going to get him back. Now, his snap count could be a little bit lower than it's been, possibly, but it's not a shoulder injury like Swift is dealing with where you're worried about the contact. It's an ankle injury. So I could see him maybe getting a little bit less reps, but now he can mix in with the guys like Austin Bryant, Jesse, Charles Harris, well, if we see any Jesse, and we'll get some more depth back to the outside linebacker position. Amani. Now, Amani, we got a pretty unfortunate update today that he is out for this game. They said earlier today that he was highly unlikely when Dan Campbell spoke to the media, and now he has been listed as out for this game as he is dealing, of course, with the thumb injury. Now, apparently this came up in the last drive of the last game. Amani didn't really know he did anything to it, but he said today they're getting him checked out, and he is not ruling out the possibility of him getting surgery, which would basically shut him down for the season, you would believe. Campbell jokingly said today, well, he still got his other hand with he can catch with, and he still has his legs so he can run and cover. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we go forward, but he will not be playing in this game. So in his place, look out for rookie Iffy. He's had limited reps recently, but he's like what he's seen from Iffy. So Iffy will likely get the start in this game. And on the opposite side, it really does sound like it's going to be Will Harris because Dan Campbell once again brought up the fact that they wouldn't know that Will Harris could be a cornerback if it wasn't for all the COVID going on and, having players miss and then him getting an opportunity to play that cornerback position. He actually talked about that because as a team, they've been able to evaluate a lot of players this year, give a lot of opportunities. Remember, we signed a lot of one-year deals. So he's like, we've been able to evaluate a lot of these players that we brought back. I mean, you go from Jalen Reeves-Maybin to Evan Brown. You can really go across the room, and they have been. So that's going to be helpful for them this offseason. But it sounds like Will Harris is probably going to get the start again at outside cornerback. I'm just kind of feeling like that's going to be the way the Lions go. Now, they will have AJ Parker in the slot, which is nice, and Iffy on the other side. I talked about it yesterday. Iffy and Kyle Pitts. I like that matchup because for this, you know what? I'm going to hold off because we're going to get to the Falcons in a second. I'll go back into that in a second. Campbell said it's not looking great for Amani, but since they were getting him checked out today, we'll probably know more after this game and after Sunday. If he can't go for the rest of the season, if he's out for the year, which I hope is not the case, the good thing is we'll get to see more of these young guys. We'll probably see more Will Harris at corner, and we'll probably get to see Iffy a lot more because he's missed a ton of the season with an injury. So that's the update on Amani Oruwariye. Continuing Josh Woods, he's out for this game. He didn't practice all week with his neck injury. Very unfortunate there with Woods. I know he went down in their last game, but to not practice all week is pretty concerning. You know, now Jalen looks like he's going to be good to go. You do have Derek Barnes, which is good, but you lost Alex this week, and now you've lost Josh Woods as well. Michael Brockers, with his knee injury, he's been limited all week. He's listed as questionable, but it's Michael Brockers, bro. He's been limited all year. This dude's going to play, okay? I'm going to say that he's going to play on Sunday. Watch, now I said that he probably won't play. I think he'll play. Continuing down, Jonah Jackson with his back injury, limited participation, listed as questionable for this game. I do think we're going to get Jonah Jackson back on the field. He's practiced all week this week, and last week he didn't practice at all, but they still left it out there that, hey, you could still possibly play. We're going to leave him as questionable, but now the fact that he's practiced all week, I mean, when you're at this point of the season, you're going to get a lot of limited participation. A lot of our O-line is pretty much back together at this point. I mean, you got your starting left guard, you got your starting left tackle, your starting right guard, and your starting right tackle. Only thing you're missing is Frank Ragnow, but Evan Brown is back, so the offensive line's looking pretty good. Khalif Raymond, he's questionable. He's practiced the last 3 days, dealing with a shoulder injury. A lot of shoulder injuries at this time of the year. Josh Reynolds, questionable as well. He played through the thigh last week, still limited again today, but did practice all week again. So I expect both those guys are probably going to be able to play. And you wrap it up with Swift, who is limited, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin. Now, Swift one, Campbell gave us an interesting update here. He said with Swift, Friday's going to tell a lot. That's why seeing players limited participation like a Julian, I'm thinking is a very good sign for Julian Okwara to possibly play some snaps this weekend. Because he said Friday was going to tell a lot with DeAndre Swift. He said, I can tell you this, he's been improving all week, but it's the contact for him. He told us on Wednesday he wants Swift to be confident and not think about his shoulder basically when he's running. So today is going to be a very big day for him. Well, he was limited today. So we'll have to just wait and see, but I think that's a good update for DeAndre Swift. I do. And that could mean Swift, Jamal, I mean, we're all healthy at running back. If you think we got every single running back here. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of exciting. We haven't seen that in a while. And you wrap it up with Jalen Reeves-Maybin, limited participation all week, listed as questionable. But he played last week when he was limited as well. So I would expect Jalen should be good to go as well in this game. So, yes, that is the Lions side of the injury report. Name that we have not seen on here all week is the quarterback. It's Jared Goff. That's where we're looking for the update. Well, the update is not a very good one today. As Dan Campbell said, it's highly unlikely Goff is able to play in Sunday's game against Atlanta. He said he did not test negative in the AM. So this morning he did not test negative. So he was not taken off the COVID list, which means that he's still on that list. Now, he could get tested negative tomorrow, which is probably the slim chance that can open the door that he could play. He has been involved in all the game plans, but he has not been at practice this week. So the Lions still could possibly lean at Tim Boyle. Now, Goff said he was feeling well. So if he did test negative like tomorrow and he is feeling well, they could let him play. They definitely could. I know early in the season with Goff, and Campbell said, hey, if he's good to go, he's going to play. So I'm not going to count him out. He said it was highly unlikely. He said he'd be doubtful right now to play. He still needs to test negative, and that's what we've seen with a lot of players. You're on the COVID list, you usually miss a week of football. So that means Tim Boyle will be the next guy up, who Dan Campbell said he expects him to be the general of the team, and they're trying to get him into rhythm. He said, I expect him to get us in the right play, make the right decision. They're really excited about the extra weeks that he's gotten to practice, Tim Boyle, to get prepared for this game. Boyle will be the starter, is what we've been hearing. So I would say lean towards Tim Boyle likely playing as a starting quarterback in this week's games, which is, good and bad. I mean, it's unfortunate because I want to see Goff keep going with this offense, and Campbell gave some words on that today, and we'll talk about that. But at the same time, the good you could take out of it is that you get to see Boyle again, I guess. You get to see your backup quarterback. But also, really, the big benefit here is, can the Lions find a way to adjust, knowing that they have their backup quarterback, stay competitive to this game, and give themselves a chance. They did that against Cleveland. They gave themselves a shot on the road, all right? It was ugly, but they gave themselves a chance, and Boyle only had a week of practice. Your defense stood up big time in that game. They're going to have to do that again in this one. How many carries do they give Craig Reynolds? But they said if Craig Reynolds is active, he'll get the ball. So if Reynolds is active on Sunday, which he's probably going to be because how he's been playing, they could go with Swift. Even Swift can go. They'll probably go with Swift, Jamal, and Reynolds, maybe Godwin as their fourth. Then expect Reynolds to get some touches, but they'll probably lean towards Jamal and Swift, especially if they feel good about where Swift is at. But Swift is kind of up in the air, it still seems like, even though he was limited today. Dan Campbell about the quarterback situation and Jared Goff again. But I think he said a lot of things that we said in yesterday's video. He said this with Jared Goff. He said, look, Of course, we've gotten to evaluate a lot of players like we talked about, but it was Jared Goff. He said, I feel like earlier in the season, we weren't able to maybe fairly evaluate him because we didn't have everything right to an extent. You know, and he said some of that, you know, of course, his personnel, we know that. We know the Decker, we know the Josh Reynolds. But he said also some of that is with us, with the coaching staff. Look, this is literally everything we talked about yesterday. So I'm not even going to go into it like that. I could sit here and go into it, but y'all know what it is. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about the coaching, you know, the play calling. We talked about the players that we got back. We looked at the stats. Campbell was asked about the potential future for Jared Goff and what it is with the Lions. And there's a lot of evaluation. There's still games to play this season. Even if it doesn't play this weekend, he'll likely play the last 2 games of the year. There's still a lot to see. But he said, really, the last 3 to 4 weeks, they felt like they've been in that area where they can evaluate him because they have their things right, not only from the player side, but also the coaching side. He said, I like where he's trending. He left it with that. I like where he's trending right now. He said the Jared Goff I know or I knew when we brought him in is the Goff that we saw against Minnesota and the Goff that we saw against the Atlanta Falcons. Probably his 2 best games of the season, if not the best games. They were right up there, right? I mean, obviously he got some awards for those games, but he went 3 to 4 weeks back, which would either take you back to the Chicago game or Minnesota, Denver, Arizona. It'd be about those 4. And I can see what he's saying because the Pittsburgh one, you know, the injuries, and he said that messed things up. And then you go before Pittsburgh, it would have been before the bye week. So this hit on exactly what our video said. If y'all want to check it out, check out yesterday's video, man. We take a look at some film. We take a look at some stats. It's a good one. It's kind of long, I know, but there are chapters, so y'all can, like, skip through it, man. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it. I was very excited when I put it out there. It's kind of weird, but it's worth it. Throw this in here right now if you're watching right now. How you doing? Let comment like a bucket of popcorn or something. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Let's comment that. Favorite Christmas movie. Okay, I feel like there's a couple. Dan Campbell, you know, they said, hey, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? That's not a, I mean, is it a Christmas? It's not like what you think of as a Christmas movie. I don't know. I don't know if I would count that one. But he said that and Christmas Vacation were his go-tos. That's a good one. That's a good one. But, you know, I think there's a lot of good ones. So I want to hear yours down below. Mine used to be Polar Express. I haven't even opened it, though. Like, I literally got, like, the new package, you know, for Christmas, but I haven't even opened the dang thing. But I just like having it. Let's get into Falcons side of the injury report, man. Let's fly through this. Starting at the top, it's Tajaé Sharpe, the receiver. He is limited. He was listed with doubtful today as he did not practice all week, which probably means he's not going to play. I don't think we've seen a doubtful play. We say this all the time. I bet Tajaé Sharpe is out this week. So they're going to have to ask some other receivers to step up. Now, they could point to the practice squad. Earlier this week, they signed Chad Hansen to their practice squad. I don't know how he's looked in practice, but we could possibly see Chad Hansen play against us, which would be kind of interesting. Now, they do have Russell Gage, who has kind of become their top option as a receiver for them, and last week he was really good. I know it was Madureira got moved up. Kind of Mawson players, like he was jumping over defensive backs, taking it out of the air. He played really well last week. Russell Gage did. He had 8 receptions, 91 yards. And then, of course, they have Kyle Pitts. They have a Hayden Hurst. They have a Cordero Patterson. So they have versatility within those guys. If Kyle Pitts lines up at wide receiver, which he's done over 200 times this year, I think if he's got a good matchup there. But you have to know that there is some maybe smaller receivers that we could be seeing this week. The one guy they could be looking at to step up this week, because really they don't have a ton of production. There are other receivers past Russell Gage. Calvin Ridley, he's not going to play this week. We haven't gotten an update on that. So a guy they're looking to step up is Olamide Zaccheaus. Am I saying that right? Olamide Zaccheaus? I think I'm saying that right. Okay, I like that's an awesome name. But the guy's only 5'8". He was more of a slot receiver coming out, but he has played on the outside this year. He's got a 93-yard touchdown, which is just like a bomb from their own end zone with some heat, and he ended up scoring on that play. He's explosive. He's got some speed, especially in the short area situations, but we know they like to take shots, and he has a 93-yard touchdown. I know bad college. He's a guy that can make plays once the ball's in his hands because he's a good run after the catch player. Something to worry about when you get out there with some of those small receivers. Also on their practice squad, they have a guy like Marvin Hall, okay, the former Lion. So they got a couple of connections there. I didn't even know they had Marvin Hall. I mean, he was with Atlanta, then he came to us and went back to Atlanta, I guess, right? Because wasn't he with Atlanta before we picked him up? I think he was. All right, now they have some other names on the roster as well that could get some snaps this week. When you look at guys like Frank Darby, a rookie this season, he's only got 1 reception though in a year. You look at Blake, who's got 3 receptions this season. He has 2 drops this season. Just his pass catching technique is his biggest drop, but he is explosive. He can make things happen once the ball's in his hands. So definitely something to keep an eye out for there at the receiver position, because they will look to take the top off. And you got to believe that Pitts and guys like that will probably get some outside matchups. And again, that's Iffy versus Pitts. I'm looking forward to that. Deion Jones, nice update here. Continues to practice, full participation once again today. He's listed as in for this game. Really, as you can see, everybody else is in. I mean, we don't have to go one by one here. They're all in. Chris Lindstorm in. Tyler Davidson returned from his illness. Good to see that he is back and healthy. He didn't practice the last 2 days because of that. He is full participation. He's in for this game. Avery Williams, who is their return man right now because Cordero Patterson is being used more offensively. He's in for this one. Patterson's in because of rest. Lee Smith had rest. Both those guys are going to play in this game. So the only guy really that could be out when you look at the participation report is Tajay Sharpe, and it seems like he will be. So he could be a little bit lighter at receiver. But aside from that, they're good to go. I mean, everybody has their IR and things that they're dealing with, like the Calvin Ridley situation for the Atlanta Falcons. But with their participation report, they're pretty much ready to go. We have a lot of questionables to keep an eye on for us. We don't have actually anybody listed as in, because there's been a lot of limited participation this week. So Sunday, we'll look at the inactives before the game. That will be big just to see who's in, who's out. But for now, this is the final injury report for the Lions and for the Atlanta Falcons. Again, Merry Christmas. I will see you guys on Sunday for the pregame show and for the Lions versus Atlanta Falcons. And Tim Boyle likely will be getting the start. But if we get any news on Jared Goff, because it would probably come out tomorrow on Christmas, I may throw up a quick video just to let y'all know. If we get some crazy news, I may just throw up a quick video. But I can't guarantee it. Thank you, Prop, for watching, and I'm out.